John's big face in your phone.
I'm stealing the live over here. All right, the Voice and Rizzles.
I know that guy.
I love that name too.
Right?
Yeah, thank you.
Well, we just kind of we started it. I always like saying that we started it because I thought he wanted me to film him doing a podcast.
Oh yeah,
He's like, no, man, I want you to do it with me.
Oh, okay.
So I was like, okay, sure, man, I'll rock with a podcast with you. And then we were thinking of names. We're like, I don't know. It's like, oh fuck, just use the nicknames, man. The Voice and Rizzles.
Done and done.
That's all it needs to be. It doesn't need to be anything crazy.
Oh, I hear you.
Well, Nick, we need some tech support here.
Oh my goodness.
Technical problems.
How do you make us join it?
I think you have to send a request to him. So
I do?
Yeah, you say hi to all your peoples.
What's up, fam? People coming in here.
There we go. Request. Boom.
Okay, I see. And then so I do view? Click view or no?
I guess. I don't know. Whatever it is.
I lost it. Oh, no, I got it back. I'm so bad at this.
So just to be clear, you work for Optimum, right, for tech support? Or
I do. Yeah, I work for Optimum Tech Support. not IG Tech Support, unfortunately.
There you go. All right.
Yeah, so we're on. We're live. We're good.
We're good.
We're
That's
good,
it.
man. That's it.
Hey, I'm excited to be here. I want to thank you guys for having me out.
No, we're happy to have
Listen,
you, man. It's
I'm
awesome.
pumped to have you on. I knew since the start that we were eventually going to cross our paths on here, and I wanted to just dig deep into who you are, what got you into where you're doing, because listen, one of the top in the world, literally one of the top. You can't even say top 10. We top 3 consistently too.
Yeah.
And you won the Arnold.
Yeah. I mean, it's still like it's surreal when I hear someone say that, or when I just go throughout my day and then I just start. I like to sometimes just think about different things randomly throughout the day, and then sometimes I'll just be sitting down thinking. I'm like, wow, I'm top 3 in the world right now, or wow, I'm the Arnold Classic champion. And sometimes I'll even forget certain things. Like when was the last time that I actually won a show? I'm trying to think. Oh yeah, I won the Arnold Classic this year.
You're trying to think.
Yeah, exactly.
Who won the Arnold last year? Wait a second.
Exactly.
This son of a bitch.
Yeah. So it's like it's very surreal. I feel very blessed, and I couldn't. It's not all me. My as you guys know, my coach is Justin Miller.
Yeah.
And I owe a lot to him, because he took me to a level that I wasn't able to achieve when I first started into bodybuilding.
We were talking about that with we had this guy Matt on, who is a semi-pro baseball player, and we were talking about it, and your name came up. He said George looks like just an unbelievable, phenomenal guy, and he looks like the kind of guy that he gets directions from his coach and he listens. I said, yo, if Justin told George to go run a mile naked to make weight, even though you don't have that problem, right. Ready for the show like a million days out, but I said he would do it because he knows that whatever Justin says is going to be the way that it's got to go.
Right.
And that's what you want in an athlete. I mean, you hire somebody to be your coach, and whether that comes from being in a relationship with them as a friend and family, and then it moves to being a coach for you.
Right.
You have a lot of people that either second guess or they just don't listen to what their coach says, and they do different things than what their coach actually asked them to do.
That's insanity.
And that's just shooting yourself in the fucking foot at that point.
It's counterproductive. I never understood that, because what are you going to be paying the coach for if you're not going to listen to what he's going to say, what he's telling you to do?
Yeah.
So I never understood that. I mean, and you also have to have trust in the person that you're hiring to help you. Like I have 100% faith in Justin, and I also know that people are human. Like people can make mistakes. So I've said in many times, different interviews I did, and I told Justin face to face, I was like, Justin, look, I have faith in you. I have faith in us. It doesn't matter if we was to lose 10 shows in a straight row. I have enough faith in us to stick with you until we get it right, because I know you know your stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
there's little twinks here and there.
And I think that's another thing. Like people are so quick to jump and switch coaches after, let's say, one unsuccessful failure. They don't give someone the time they need to learn your body, and
And it's usually not the coach's fault.
Yes.
Because a coach, unless they really don't know what they're doing, they're not going to say something catastrophic to an amateur athlete to make them mess up catastrophically.
Right.
It's not going to be, okay, night before the show, I need you to eat 17 potatoes, 14 cups of white rice, and 3 steaks.
Right.
Okay.
You mean that's bad? They shouldn't do that?
Only you can get away with that, Nick.
Yeah, okay.
Right.
My love handles would say different.
But somebody who spills over really bad like that, for example, or messes up, maybe they didn't listen to their coach, and they did their own thing to go, well, my coach doesn't understand. I need more carbs, so I should eat this box of Pop-Tarts. No, you shouldn't. If you think you should eat some more carbs, either talk to your coach, or more importantly, don't scarf it down with Pop-Tarts.
Right.
Your coach isn't wrong, and you're not right. It's a matter of you wanted to justify cheating on your diet.
Right.
You know?
I mean, I would always, double check with Justin, even for the little, minuscule things. Like if he says, have 6 ounces of sweet potato or white potato. And let's say, I'd rather have oatmeal or something like that.
Yeah.
Before I actually do that, I'll say, is it okay if I have this amount of oatmeal, which is equivalent to 6 ounces?
The adverse, and
exactly.
instead of it, subbing it in.
Exactly. And he'll either say, yes or no. And it's yes. And when he says yes, I'm happy because,
Because you're going to eat things that you like anyway.
Right. But, I'm not going to just do something, I like to be, I'm very anal with it. If he says do this, I'm like, okay, I got to do exactly this. And if I want to change a little something up, I want to consult with him first.
That's always how I was. I could never understand how people listen to a coach and then will go against them, like I just said, and not take into their consideration of just explaining to them, maybe you know that your body doesn't work well with sweet potatoes.
Right.
Maybe you know that you don't work well with jasmine rice.
Right.
And every single piece of food affects every single person differently. And I know you just mentioned, which is a big thing, because it takes a couple of shows and a couple of cycles through with a coach before they really start to understand your body.
Right.
There's a lot of people, I'm sure, that feel as though you should work with this guy because he has a great track record with these 3 athletes that he's had for a couple of years.
Right.
You work with this coach, and then all of a sudden they don't bring you the results or the successes that you think that he or she is going to, and then you drop them.
Right.
Well, it takes time. I mean,
it takes time.
Yeah.
When Casey first got linked up with Meadows, when I linked them up, it took them a couple shows. Like, John didn't know Casey's body right off the bat. He didn't know how fast Casey burns through shit, and he had to continually learn and compare and contrast old plans with what he's going to do with him going forward. And I'm sure Justin did the same with you when you first started with him.
Absolutely. Same exact thing. I mean, if you go back to, 2017 New York Pro, when I made my pro debut, I mean, me and Justin, we made some mistakes in that show there, but we learned from them. And that's why since then, we just kept getting better and better and better, So
that's what it's all about, man.
That's what it's all about.
And you know what? It's when you're that lean, your body's like a little bit of it's a microchip. Yeah. Any little thing is going to affect it.
Like that.
So for the most part, if you're bulking, you can get away with a carb as a carb, except for sugar. You know what I mean?
Right.
Sweet potato, jasmine rice, whatever. Odds are you can get away with it. But that close to a show, what people don't understand is that white rice might mess you up because of the insulin spike.
Yes.
That sweet potato might save you because it's going to keep it low glycemic.
Right.
Even down to the vitamins and minerals and the amount of fiber that's in it.
Right.
That's why you have to check with Justin. Hey, you said sweet potatoes, but can I have oatmeal?
Right.
Yes, no, who knows?
Right. Exactly. It's very true.
What kind of carb works well for you? What do you?
I mean, sweet potatoes usually work well for me.
Good?
Yeah. For this previous Olympia, I actually, and it seems to work, really well. Actually, I switched from the when it came to taking the sodium out. I switched from the sweet potato to regular white potato.
Okay.
Yeah. So I mean, the difference is very minuscule. But the white potato seemed to have worked a little bit better for me when it came to sodium depleting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Once again, everything affects you differently.
Yeah.
Exactly. But for the most part, everything else stayed the same. I mean, the one thing that we was getting into talking about, off camera, was something else we changed was my cheat meals changed up a little bit.
Talk to me about it. I'm always for a good cheat meal, man.
I used to do burgers, right after, say, leg day or something like that. That would be the go-to cheat meal, burgers and fries. But we started switching it up to chicken breast and pancakes.
Okay.
All right. And the reason why we ended up switching that, and this was Justin's plan, and and it worked out good, is because the red meat, I can't remember exactly how he explained it, but the red meat is slow
digesting.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It takes longer to go through the system.
It's all the fats. It's all the fats slowing you down.
Exactly. So rather than doing that, we do the chicken breast and this pancakes, and now it gets in you much quicker, and you're getting that like that insulin spike, I guess, like when right after you finish eating, you feel like you want to go to sleep right away. And that's what we wanted, so Justin would always check. He's like, are you getting sleepy? And I'm like, yeah. He's like, good.
Go take a nap and then go hit another workout.
Right, exactly.
So we're bodybuilders, man. All of us. Listen, as much as I'm a washed up physique guy, and John just competed, so you got. I know that I keep track of my favorite places to eat. So you got to have a favorite place now for pancakes, at least.
I mean, you know what? My favorite place for pancakes. I mean, right now, like if you're talking about the whole, anywhere, no matter what state I'm in,
if you can go anywhere.
IHOP.
Yeah, I
knew
he was going to say he's simple, plain simple.
Exactly.
Bring them over, stack them up.
It's always the same, no matter which one you go to.
Exactly.
You can't go wrong with that.
Yep. And if it's not IHOP, then I would go Denny's.
Okay.
All right.
I haven't been to Denny's in a minute.
Yeah.
They make some good food.
They make some good food at Denny's.
And they're open late.
Yes.
So right after you get it popping all night, go and get some
That's
Denny's.
what I was going to say. I remember reading something once. It goes, nobody plans to go to Denny's. You end up at Denny's. It's 2 a.m. You just finished going out drinking.
Right.
Goes, what's open? All right. There we go.
There you go. Just get it. I remember when I was out in Vegas, and because when you're over there in the West Coast and everything like that, you see these different food places that we don't see over here in the East Coast. So it's just like, and at that time when you're dieting and everything like that, you feel like a kid in a candy store. So I remember when I saw In-N-Out, I was like, oh, I gotta freaking get that.
Yeah.
Because I see, you see all these people on Instagram taking their In-N-Out pictures. I was like, all right, I gotta try this, and I actually love In-N-Out.
Yeah.
So I think when it comes to burgers now, my go-to place would be In-N-Out if it was over here in the East Coast, but it's not.
Yeah, logistics. That's what they say is the reason that we don't have In-N-Outs over here, because to get the patties fresh from the other side, because most of the stuff, from what I understand, is in California.
Oh, really?
So that's why it kind of stops in Texas. So you'll notice on the map, if you ever look at the location finder, it stops right at Texas, goes north, and then it goes everything else west. We don't get nothing over here.
Oh, wow.
But to me, it's like, what about Shake Shack? Shake Shack's fresh. We get Shake Shacks over there now.
Yeah. What about Five Guys? Is Five Guys is fresh too?
I guess. I don't know.
I don't know.
I wasn't a Five Guys guy.
Yeah.
Five Guys is good.
Yeah.
It's pretty. It's good. But
there's a place in the West Coast. It reminded me when you're talking about In-N-Out. It's called Brewix. It was on the pier over in California. So it was 2 patties, right? And it was on like a big thin Belgian waffle as the bun. Oh my god.
Really?
Ooh, it was a regular burger, but instead of the bun, it was a Belgian waffle.
Oh my god!
But not like a crazy thick one, so you couldn't bite it.
Yeah.
It was just like thin enough, just so it was like a perfect patty.
That's crazy.
I just want to get lean enough where I could just roll anything in a pancake. Start rolling pancakes up. Anything the rest of the day. It's like, what are you eating, Nick? Yeah, I'm on a pancake binge,
Nick,
like rolling it
like
up.
A pig in a blanket.
The other way around, you gotta get so muscular that you could eat whatever you want. It burns up anyway.
Yeah. So just get like George, man.
By accident.
So I want to touch on your roots, man. Where'd you come from? What was it like growing up, and then of course escalating to the fitness type lifestyle, because this physique doesn't just happen in a year. It doesn't happen in 2 years. This happens over a progression of time.
Right.
So I'm curious, and I'm sure a lot of other people are curious about what makes George tick. Where'd he come from?
Yeah. I mean, coming up. I mean, I was always, different. I was different than a lot of the other kids, that were, in school. And I mean, me and my close friends that, that I grew up with, we had a lot of, similar interests and everything. But, I like I said, I was still like a little different, like I was the kid who, while everybody else was, probably, out playing basketball, doing different things like that. I like being home watching my Bruce Lee, movies and stuff like that. And I always loved to emulate everything I saw, Bruce Lee doing. I love to, and then after that, it went on to Jean-Claude Van Damme, like, you know what I mean?
Just up the fight ladder.
Yeah, exactly.
You do what they say don't do. Don't imitate the TV.
Right, exactly. I was just, I'm trying to, find the right words for it. I mean, like I was like one of the boys, but there was just something about me that I just knew that I was just different. But I embraced that. And my friends embraced it too. We knew that we were all like a little different from each other, but
which probably made the group better, because you don't want to. I mean, I know too many dudes that hang out with the same people and they do the same shit every single day. They have the same interest. I like it when I have a diverse group of friends.
Right.
I like that. That's why I'm friends with everybody.
Right.
Everybody brings something different and random to the table that maybe I'm not into. That, oh, okay, I see the side of that. I like that. That's fun. You know,
Right.
maybe I wasn't into Bruce Lee, and you're one of my boys back in the day, and you start watching some of the movies when I'm kicking it with you, and I'm like, oh shit, this is cool, man.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. I mean, look, you know, like say for example, you know, when I was like in elementary school and everything, like I was like the only kid who was like openly, you know, expressing how much I love Power Rangers and stuff like that, you know, right? But, you know, all the other kids, you know, the boys and whatever, they wanted to act like they were too cool for, you know, for Power Rangers.
Too grown.
When they probably know damn well they probably watch Power Rangers too.
The after school special.
They get the lunchbox at home.
Exactly. Like I was that kid who wasn't afraid to express like, oh, I like this, I like that. And the same thing goes with like with my close friends, like, you know, whenever they would be raving about a certain rap artist, so this guy's the best rapper, I would, you know, come out of left field. I was like, no, this guy's the best rapper of all. Like for example, if my friends loved Jay-Z and they felt like Jay-Z was the greatest rapper, I was like, hell no, Busta Rhymes is the greatest rapper of all time. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know, and they would not change my mind. You know, so I was like, you know, that kind of different. You know. And then, and because of my, you know, affinity for stuff like, you know, Power Rangers, Bruce Lee, and everything, I started taking martial arts. You know, at about 7 years old, I started studying Shotokan karate because, once again, Bruce Lee was a huge inspiration, and I wanted to be like him. And so, and doing so, I started doing a lot of research on Bruce Lee, getting all these, you know, different videotapes that talk about his life and everything, and his book and everything. And I read that he started lifting weights to get stronger with his techniques, with his punches and his kicks and everything. Because apparently at one point he had a fight with someone. They was challenging him because he was teaching, you know, the art, and they didn't want him to. So he got challenged, and he was upset because it took him a lot longer to win that fight than he felt necessary, because he felt like he was like not out of condition. So he started lifting weights to get better at that. So I started doing the same thing. You know, I just started lifting weights and everything. And then in doing so, my body actually started to change. I started to put on muscle fairly quickly. A guy at the gym I was training at, which is the Export gym that's not far from our gym, Bev's. Yeah, I know Export. That's right underneath Roosevelt Field
In
Mall.
Massapequa. Oh, it's right here.
Yeah.
It's right over
that
here.
was the first gym I ever joined.
Really?
Yeah.
I did a couple guest passes back in the day when they first opened up.
Oh, yeah?
Because I'm a weirdo, man. Back in the day, especially, I would, like you, I've always been different.
Yeah.
I wasn't always into going to the clubs. I always wasn't into hanging around at the bar, seeing the same bar rats and the same fucking
way.
people. It's boring to me.
Yeah.
I figured, and then I was heavy when I was younger, and so once I got into better shape and I started focusing on my body and actually training and doing things, I joined Bev's, and I would bounce around to different gyms to see what kind of equipment they had. Like, that was my fun time. Like, my best time. And I feel like as bodybuilders, we all can attest to the same thing. Every day of the week, we were like, oh, what do we train today? What do we train today? What do we got tomorrow? What do we got? And then once you're doing it, you're like, okay, what else I got going on today?
Yeah, exactly.
Now what do I do?
Yeah, on rest days, I'm bored, man.
Right.
I haven't gone to the gym in 2 weeks. So for me, it's like, oh, I'm agonized. I want to go do something.
Right.
So I used to go at like 1 a.m.
Okay.
To midnight, 1 a.m. I used to either go to Export or I'd go to Coliseum in Queens, train for a couple hours on a Friday, Saturday night, and then come home. And then usually the next day, I would just grab breakfast with the family and just hang out. So I right when Export opened up, I went over there and I was thinking of joining that gym.
Right.
And it was nice gym, man. When it first opened, especially.
Yeah, it was beautiful. I loved that gym when everyone was going there, and it was 24 hours. The only part that sucked was because it's right underneath the mall. So if you was training around holiday times like now, like parking would be a straight up bitch.
Yeah, nightmare.
Yeah, exactly. So I hated that. So but that was only downside. But I loved that gym. So yeah, I joined that gym, and then a guy that was there, he saw me, and he came up to me when I was at the water fountain one day. He said, "Do you compete?" And I said, "No." And he's like, "Well, you should." And I said, "Why?" And he was like, "Because I see you have good genetics for it." And I was like, "Okay." And then I talked with him a little bit more. Through him, I did like my first show, and I ended up placing top 5 in the first bodybuilding show I ever did.
Wow.
What show was that?
It was one of those it was an IMBF show.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I placed 5th at that show, and I was like ecstatic. For me, that felt like a first place win, because I was like I didn't know nothing about
How old
nothing.
were you?
Yeah, I was how old was I? I think I was about 25 or 24, something like that. Yeah. So so like I said, that was and then after that I was hooked. Then I started actually really researching pro bodybuilders, like I remember the 93 Flex Wheeler. Mr. Olympia routine was the first YouTube video I saw, like a bodybuilding routine.
And he composed. Like,
I was like, wow, like look at this guy. It was like, I was like, so I used that for constant. And then from him, it went to Sean Ray and then Lee Priest, all the guys from the 90s. Like, I was like, wow, these guys are amazing.
Favorite era.
Yeah, favorite era
Absolutely.
for sure.
Yeah,
for sure.
I look at all those guys, and it's just, I'm still, even though I'm around all you guys, it's a different type of mass monsters and leanness that you guys bring to the table.
Right.
But that 90s is just something. It's just crazy. It's just,
Something else.
it keeps me dumbfounded.
It's just such mature muscle that nobody tried to rush.
Right.
They put it on, they slowly every single year, but they put it on for 20 years before they stepped on that stage.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Not discrediting anything from the athletes today, but a lot of people get big real quick.
Right.
There's nothing wrong with that, but you're not going to have mature, grainy muscle that takes time to develop.
Right.
Almost too quick for a lot of people, unfortunately.
Yeah.
And that's the only time you ever see problems at the sport, man. When
Yeah.
somebody does too much, try to get big too quick.
Right.
Like, nothing but love for Dallas McCarver, but when you do that much by that age, something's not going to happen. Something's not going to work right.
Well, I mean, like that's why when I whenever I'm speaking to young kids and everything like that, when they ask me for advice, the first thing I always tell them is to take their time.
Enjoy the process.
Enjoy the process. I mean, because when you're in your late teens or early 20s and whatnot, I mean, I let them know that your body hasn't even begun to mature yet. So you have plenty of time. And the stage is not going nowhere.
Yeah.
So
It's only
there's
getting
no
bigger,
rush.
actually.
Exactly, exactly. So utilize your time and build your foundation. Don't try to rush anything, like you guys say. So it's
They just need a lot of education on nutrition.
Yes.
So many kids, they're going through puberty. That's better than any cycle they'll ever run.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's
Right.
the amount of they're going to change in that time if they're eating enough.
Right.
And their natural hormone levels, they're going to get huge if they start working out and doing everything else properly.
Right.
So I know personally, when I ever have kids reach out to me on social media going, what can I do to get bigger? And we're talking maybe, this is like the 14 to 20 range or so. What can you do to get bigger? I was thinking of this, I was thinking of that. And I always mention, I'm like, well, tell me what's your diet like? How much cardio you doing? Well, cardio burns muscle. No, it doesn't.
Right.
It's going to help you get bigger.
Right,
you know?
right.
So how about before you worry that you're not getting big enough, look at your food and say, hey, you're only eating 2 or 3 times a day and school's messing you up.
Yes.
Well, I'm sure you can eat something in school and try to eat some real food,
Right.
If the foundation isn't good, then it's not going to.
Yeah.
You're not going to be able to build a good house on it.
Exactly.
Right. No,
Exactly.
Not at all. And the diet is always the first thing now.
Absolutely.
Like you got to touch base with when you're trying to achieve a fitness goal. Like whenever regular people try to ask me about how to lose weight. What's the best way to lose weight? I always go into, how are you eating right now?
Yeah.
And if the same thing. If they want to put on muscle. Like, all right, how are you eating right now? Like the food is like 85% of the job.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, it's very important.
Yeah, the training doesn't come up until after. I mean, you're not growing unless you're sleeping, recovering, and eating right.
Right.
Yeah.
So you could do everything you want in the gym, but if you're lackluster in the dieting side of things, then you're not going to get very far.
Exactly. Because the food and the eating is what's making the training be effective for you.
Yeah.
So. Yeah, that's what
you can always take it back to you with Dragon Ball Z. How many times do you see Goku slamming down plates and plates and plates of food?
he goes in.
There you go.
He goes
Yo,
in.
for real, I was sick last week. I had vertigo all week. It was it was real shitty.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it was horrible. But I was texting John because we obviously had to push off last week's episode, and then we wanted to make sure that we were good for this week, and I was feeling better. It wound up being neck impingement from muscles in my neck. I actually just went to the chiropractor again this morning for the 3rd session for him to open it up. Okay. And then going forward, I'm the worst, man. I've been abusing my body for years now. Like ever since I started the videos, especially, just around the clock, man. Answering people, messaging on social media, editing, shooting, running around. Now the podcast in the office. Like I have to, and then training every single morning. And a lot of the time I wasn't taking rest days. He was yelling at me. Internally, I was yelling at myself. And then I'd have probably 300 to 400 milligrams of caffeine in the morning before I worked out. And then I'd have another bang or two like energy drinks in the afternoon.
Yeah.
Just to keep me awake and going.
Oh, wow.
So I'm not shocked that at some point my system kind of just went, all right, bro, you got to kick back. But when I was out, I was watching. I caught up on all the Dragon Ball Supers.
There you go.
So I
told you it's good.
140 episodes. I crushed the entire thing. I'm like, oh shit! Now I have nothing to watch. But yo, every time, man, he's slamming the food. I'm like, yo, I'm kind of hungry. Right? All of a sudden, that food looked kind of good, even though it's a cartoon.
Right.
But let me. So obviously, you went to Export. You did your thing, competed. And how old are you now?
I'm 35.
Okay, so yeah, so not too much older than me, and you're right around there. So, when did you make your segue over to Bevs?
I mean, like in about 2012, because my first show that was about 2006. So I went over to Bevs. The first time I trained at Bevs, I think it was about 2011. I think. Cool. You know, and it looked completely different than it does right now.
Oh yeah, that's actually when I joined there.
Yeah,
I was there 2011, 2012.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I joined there. I was a silent, under the radar type person. I was a little chubby kid trying to get in shape around all the mountains around me. I was like, I don't want to look at anybody wrong.
Right, exactly. Yeah, that's kind of how I felt too. Like I was it just. I was very overwhelmed when I first went into Bevs, because you go there, you see all the pictures on the wall, and you're like, oh my god, these are the guys I was looking at on YouTube and everything. You know,
the hell did I get myself into?
Exactly. Like, I feel like a little peon in here. Yeah. But that was the first time I went to Bevs, and then I ended up doing the MPC Metropolitan in 2012, and that's when I won my first overall. At a show, and that had me like completely on cloud nine, because I just wanted to place top 5 again, because my family was coming to see me at that show, and then to end up winning the overall at that show, I was like, oh wow, and then so then I was like, okay, you know what, maybe I can really do something in the sport of bodybuilding, and then
now I don't want to cut you off, but that was way before Classic.
Way before Classic.
So what did you compete in?
I was a light heavyweight bodybuilder.
Cool.
Yep. And actually, in that same show, Sadiq was also in that show.
Oh, really?
In Men's Physique.
Men's Physique.
Because that was I think that was like the first year Men's Physique was coming out, 2012.
Him, Matt Acton, all those guys, they were posting. They were all kind of doing their thing that year.
Yeah.
That was a spark of social media for the fitness industry, too.
Yeah, absolutely.
It just started to kick off.
And Sadiq won the overall there, too, because I have a picture of me and him next to each other, taking the overall picture, so that was very cool. And even Sadiq looked so different back then. He's gotten so much, from compared to then to now, like he's improved so much. Like
a whole different athlete.
Yeah, a whole different athlete.
Well, you guys get smarter with your bodies, man.
Yeah,
you get smarter with what you're doing. You get smarter with how you're training, recovering, eating, different types of techniques to put different type of muscle on weak points.
Right.
I mean, you guys, as the years go on, that's what you expect as a bodybuilder, especially. Right. You expect in anything that you do, honestly, but especially in this sport, if you're not getting better year after year and you're staying the same, that's a problem. Like your competition is going to continually raise the bar.
Well, I think that's also the reason why when you see certain divisions, like especially like the new divisions that come out, when you see them starting to evolve and you see the physiques changing, like a la Men's Physique, we'll look at the way the guys looked back then compared to now.
Oh God!
Oh my God!
You could even see a difference like now in Classic, compared to how they looked, back 2016 to now, and same thing with Women's Physique. Look how they looked back then to now. Because if you're gonna continue to train and improve, then it's gonna evolve. It's just a natural order of things.
When we had Andre Ferguson on, I was bringing that up with him. I go, a lot of these the physique guys that are on the Olympia stage, they wouldn't make the classic weights.
No, probably not.
No, they're
probably not.
They're big boys now.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
You mentioned it like that, yeah. Those dudes, thick.
Yeah,
a lot of those dudes have packed on. I mean, I wonder what Raymond weighs when he gets on. He's a tall dude too, and he's got a lot of muscle.
He's wide, So yeah, I know.
Who knows?
But yeah, I don't know. But yeah, so that was and then I started training at Bevs a little bit more often after that. Went in 2012. Then I went up to heavyweight in 2013, and then that's when I started getting destroyed, just smashed. Because my body was, I think I just it didn't do it right. Because I wasn't happy with the way my physique looked as a heavyweight. I was losing my aesthetics and everything like that, and my shape wasn't coming out right. So I was getting dead last at national shows and whatnot. So. that put me at a down point. And at that point, I was thinking, okay, maybe this is not for me, you know. So I was like, you know what, I'm going to call it a day. And I, you know, officially just, you know, said, you know, I'm going to retire. I don't want to do it anymore. You know, and then I started looking into, you know, different things, you know, because I'm also, you know, I didn't mention this to you guys, but I'm also like a nerd at heart, you know, because I studied computer engineering in school.
Give me some. Yeah. I'm okay. I'm with the nerds, man.
We have an intern position open if you want.
Yeah, cool. I'll take it. So yeah, you know, and then I started looking more into the, you know, you know, technology, studying more and everything like that. And I was like, you know what, maybe this is my path, you know. So I was like, now I started seeing myself possibly working for a big company like Apple or Amazon or something like that, you know. And I, you know, started studying for my master. Well, let's see, where are we at right now? So that's 2013. And if, you know, fast forward like 2016, that's when I started studying for my master's in network security right there at NYIT, which is not far from here.
Right down the road.
Yeah, right there.
Exactly. And then by circumstance, I knew Justin from back in 2012. I knew him.
Was it like in passing kind of
Yeah,
thing
in
at the
passing kind
gym?
of thing. Yeah. But like, we never really like, you know, chopped it up like that and everything. And then just by circumstance, I ended up over his house because my friend who I normally work out with was gonna do a show, and he wanted Justin's help. So I just went with him to Justin's house for moral support. And then after Justin looked at my friend, he offered to look at me, and I was like, well, I mean, you can look at me if you want, but I mean, I'm not interested in doing nothing.
I'm just chilling right now.
Yeah, exactly. So, but he looked at me and he was like, you know, okay, I think we could do something. And then I said, well, you know what, Justin, if I do a show, what about this, you know, classic division? I mean, that just came out, you know. I'm thinking maybe I'll you know, go for that. The reason why I suggested that is because I saw that it always haunted me about like going up to heavyweight, how I just hated how I looked, and right before I actually, you know, said, okay, I'm done, I said to myself, you know what, I feel like I would have did better if I would have just stayed as a light heavyweight, you know, kept my weight down instead of trying to jump up that quick. So, and the fact that in classic physique, I saw I had to come down in weight. I had to. I was like, all right, well, maybe this is, you know, what I need to do. So I was like, oh, you know, what about this? And then Justin at first was like, I don't know, George. I mean, you look like a bodybuilder to me. But you know, we can give it a try. It's either one or two things are going to happen. Either they're going to give you first or they're going to give you dead last, you know, but let's see what happens. So, and then we did it, and then we ended up, you know, getting first place, you know, at the Eastern USA that year, 2016.
Cool.
Yep. And then 2 weeks later, on to nationals, and then we won the overall there. So, you know, that's when I became the first ever Classic Physique national champion.
That's awesome.
Yeah, you know, so.
It was like a whirlwind, probably, just happened all quick, man.
So quick, you know, and the way it happened, because I didn't just wake up and say, you know what, I want to do the Classic Physique. I didn't wake up and say, you know, I need to find somebody to. It just by circumstance, I ended up down that this path. Like, it's almost like something pulled me back into the sport, like you know, some forces, you know, and I that makes me feel like this was meant to happen, you know. This is, you know.
Yeah.
I hate to say that corny line, but everything happens for a reason, man.
It does.
And it just you learn about and know people in passing. I mean, there's people that I've done videos for now that I met years ago that I didn't even, you know, I didn't put two and two together. This is way before I even picked up a camera.
Right.
By circumstances, things just happen where you cross paths with people and have interactions and relationships with people that is a building for maybe not something at that time, but 5 years, 3 years, a couple months from now. And doors just open, and you know, that must have been an insane feeling for you to not only go from just having somebody look at you randomly to then doing Easterns, winning everything, and then being the first overall champ for Classic.
Yeah. I mean,
which is not an easy thing when they're just.
No.
And I'm not gonna sit here like an asshole and say they're just handing out pro cards, because I'm not gonna say it like that, but they kind of are in some cases where they have so many more people that are getting them because it's a business.
Right.
And I understand that side of it because they want more competitors.
Right.
But at the same time, it's not like as prestigious as somebody winning the overall. Like you were the best of the best at the show.
Right.
That's it.
That's what I take pride in too, because you know, just like you said, you know, and I mean, you're not the only person I've heard, you know, say that, you know, like I've heard, you know, like people who have you know, tenure in the in the industry say that they don't like how so many pro cards are given out and stuff like that. But I take pride in the fact that, let's say, even if it went back to the way it was, where like only the overall winner wins a pro card and stuff like that. Even if it went back to that, I still would have won.
You still got yours. Yeah, you still got yours.
Exactly.
Which is a big feat, man. It's no small potatoes, dude.
Yeah,
What's crazy is a lot of people, they want to turn pro right away, right?
Yes.
How many years of training did you have as an amateur until you turned pro?
I mean, it was
over a decade.
Over 10 years.
But then you go pro and then win the Arnold 3 years later.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's taking that time to make their body mature, build a crazy physique, turn pro, one of the best in the world.
Right, exactly.
You know?
Look, I won the Arnold Classic at this age, 35.
Yeah.
I mean, and to a lot of people who didn't know my history, they may feel like, oh, that happened so quick for George. He just turned pro 3 years ago.
Exactly.
Right? But I've been training for years before that. You know, like I started weight training around like, I mean, I was a late bloomer when it came to weight training. I started training weight training around like 23.
Yeah, doing serious stuff.
But that's still over 10 years. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but you were still also active on the side of training in karate,
calisthenics, nonstop. Yeah, so like so all that definitely playing up. I used to do so many pull-ups. And that might be that might be one of the reasons why I'm like, I guess my back is as good as it is because I
didn't notice.
Every time he backs up, I beep. I was like, oh shit, is this a parking zone? Is this a loading zone? I didn't know.
I'm telling you, I used to go to the park and I just used to do so many pull-ups. Like I would do sets of 50, 50 pull-ups straight. I was a beast with the pull-ups. But then of course I can't do that now because I don't train like that no more. Yeah. But and I'm a lot heavier than I was back then. So yeah, man.
So I want to know, and I'm curious. So you go into your first ever Olympia,
right?
And now that season was pretty long for you.
Yes.
I remember personally, just on a friend level, I'd see you and you would just
show after show.
Yeah,
you would just because you were bouncing show to show. So just take us through that year real quick.
All right. I mean, so so going into getting ready for the New York Pro, which is that first show of that year. I was feeling good. Everything was going well and everything like that. What went wrong with the with the actual show and the result was this is the part. This is where it comes into play where I say you have to give your coach time to learn. You know what I mean? Because this was our first time doing a show where we're going to be on stage the same day of the weigh-in.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, we kind of played that wrong. Like right after weighing in, I started scarfing down a lot of food to try to fill up, as quick as possible, But I ended up, I lost my hardness kind of.
Did it spill over, or was it like just softened up a little bit?
I think I would say I softened up a bit, because I didn't look like freaky how I did, like a day before that, or even like earlier that morning, before weighing in, I felt like I was a little harder.
Which it happens to every single athlete, every single coach. I mean, at some point. There's that, like you said, learning curve, learning period where you may not get first place, you may not get top 10 in every single show, but over the course, it's going to get better and better.
Right.
Now you know.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Now I know. Yeah. So that was that. And then we made the plan to go on to Chicago. Now Chicago was a tough second place finish because looking back at the footage and everything like that, I feel a lot of people felt like I should have won that show.
Who did you come to second to?
I believe his name was is Cleveland Thomas.
Okay,
I mean he's a good he's a good bodybuilder and everything like that. But I mean when
I'm just trying to think if I know his physique. I don't know him off the top of my head.
Yeah, I mean he gets really in condition and everything like that. But looking at when you look at the footage,
side by side,
you can see that it's easy for me to say,
because it sounds like you're biased, but,
exactly, but
I feel like you're also the same kind of guy that can say if you truly believe someone was better than you, you would say that, because you're just honest with yourself and in general.
I'll say it for the New York Pro, Pro, Breon. I feel like Breon deserved that win for the New York Pro at 2017. I can understand why he won because I was off. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I can definitely admit when I deserve to lose. I admit I deserved to lose back in 2013. I deserved it. So so yeah. But I feel like I should have got that win at Chicago in 2017. But whatever, I didn't. And then then the next stop we did was Vancouver Pro in Canada. And then that was a real tough one, you know. In Vancouver, that's when I got 6th place.
Okay.
You know, and after that happened,
And these are at a couple weeks span, right?
Yeah,
So this is all pretty tight together.
Yeah, it's very tight, very tight. So, especially between Chicago and Vancouver, that was really, really tight, really tight. You know, after that, you know, I was just like in a bit of a funk, and thoughts were going on in my mind. So, you know, why don't we just call it a year and maybe just, you know, try again, you know, next year. I was, you know, calling a few people and asking them what they think. I mean, and you know, it's so weird, you know, because like in my mind, I was kind of hoping that somebody would say, "Yeah, George, you know,
pack it up."
But everybody kept saying, "No, keep going." I was like, "Damn it!"
Shit.
Because I'm like,
now I gotta go.
Yeah, exactly. Because I'm, you know, 'cause I'm drained. I'm like, I mean, you know, like. This is the thought that's going on in my head. I'm like, all right, well, if I'm so good, then why is this so hard? I mean, like, if I'm so good, I mean, you know, I got 2 second places and a 6th place. Like, if I'm not good, then how is this happening? You know, and then you know, Justin, he was trying to keep me on track, and feeling like I could really make it to the Olympia. But then I was also like, I was kind of like replying back to him saying, well, I mean, look. Even if we make it to the Olympia, if I'm getting 6th place, you know, in Vancouver, then, you know,
what's going to happen over there?
Exactly, you know. But Justin still had the faith. He's like, don't worry about it.
Worry about these shows.
Yeah, exactly.
Right, one at a time.
Yeah. So, you know, so me and Justin had a you know, that was like one of the first times me and Justin had a big spat, because, you know, I was just, you know, like my frustration was coming out, you know, and he was trying to keep me positive. Mm-hmm. You know, but you know what? After that big spat we had, I called him the very next day, and I was like, I apologized, and I was like, all right, let's go for it. You know, so then we made the plan to do Tampa, and then Tampa was it. Yeah, Tampa was it. That's what we got my first pro win. You know, and then that was my qualification to the Olympia.
And Tampa's a risky show, man.
Yeah, it's a big one.
Because there's a lot of guys that want to make sure that they qualify for the Olympia that slide in there, and it's usually not an easy lineup either.
Well, this year was crazy at Tampa for the bodybuilders. It was Dexter, it was Sandow.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
I remember seeing those two line up. I'm like, holy shit.
Yep.
Good luck on this one.
And
good luck judging this.
And the 212 was very impressive out there in Tampa too.
Oh yeah.
You know. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, I know Justin was he was out there, and he was, you know, telling me how impressed he was, you know, with the 212 guys that was out there in Tampa. Mm-hmm. But
so you go to the Olympia.
So we go to the Olympia, yep. And then I went after all those experiences, like 2 second places, 6th place, and then, you know, first. I was I went into the Olympia with absolutely no expectations. You know, I said, you know what, me and Justin said we're gonna go in there just to be our absolute best. Mm-hmm. Whatever happens, happens. But then what I noticed was that this is how I knew something was different, because it was like as soon as we landed and we got there, and the Olympia happened on a Friday that year. Yeah. We landed in Vegas on that Tuesday of that week. Mm-hmm. When we landed, I was already about say 5 pounds away from making weight, mm-hmm. which was very close.
Yeah, it's easy. That's easy.
That's easy, very easy, especially
after a flight.
Yeah, you know, and I was posing for Justin, and I was looking great. I was hard, you know, and I was still popping. I wasn't really like that flat looking, you know. So we were at a point where the only thing we have to worry about is not fucking it up.
Yeah. Stay the course.
Everything we've done
Bring
is
this
doing
on
something.
stage.
Yes. You know, and then the morning of, you know, before heading out for prejudging, I mean, like, you know, glutes were, you know, deeply striated. Like, I mean, everything, I was just on point. And Justin said to me, and I'll never forget these words, he's like, George, I don't know what's going to happen today, but I can tell you one thing, that on the classic physique stage, I know you're going to be the best bodybuilder up on that classic physique stage. Yeah. I have no idea what that means, but I have no idea what that's going to entail. But that I believe that's what's going to happen. You're going to be the best bodybuilder on that classic physique stage. And you know, and when I was backstage at the Olympia, I wasn't nervous, nothing. I was just kind of, you know, just
doing your thing.
Doing my thing. You know, I felt like
enjoying the process.
Exactly.
Proud of yourself too. You got
which a lot of people don't do. To be quite honest with you, they get out there, they start freaking out. They're so hell bent on, I gotta do this, I gotta do that,
right?
And that actually probably played in your favor of just
Oh, absolutely.
Taking a deep breath and relaxing a little bit.
Right. Well, I think people, when you get to that level, like at the Olympia, maybe some people let the fact that it is the Olympia stage consume their mind too much. Mm-hmm. So if let's say if you weren't that nervous when you were doing your amateur shows or whatever, and you were doing your regional shows, like to try to get to the Olympia, and when you finally make it to the Olympia, to calm yourself down, just treat it like another show. It's just another show. You've done this before. You've done this before. Yeah, it's the Olympia stage, but you've done this before. Just do what you do. Don't let the fact that it is the biggest stage in the world, consume you, because it's very easy to let it consume your mind, and then then just throw yourself off. So. Yes, I just did my thing, and then I thought I was going to end up getting like fourth place after the prejudge. I mean I was going to be happy being in top 5, but I thought I was going to end up getting like fourth or something like that. But when they called me third, I was like, wow.
And what did that feel like?
I mean that felt
especially after the year you had.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I felt really on top of the world after that. Like, I mean, that third place felt like a number one to me, because it was like it felt like everything paid off. Everything, I was so thankful for everybody who told me not to quit, don't give up. I felt so thankful for Justin, keep helping to keep me on track. I was just like nothing could get me in a bad mood for the next few months after that. I was just so damn happy.
That's
exactly it, man.
That's how it should be.
Yeah.
It's a huge achievement that you did, especially coming from show after show. I mean, people don't really realize how much your body goes through when you do that.
Right.
They don't really understand how dramatic that is to keep your body in such a lean and crisp state, bouncing each week. That's why dudes that just bounce to those shows, I'm like, oh my God, man.
Right.
What are you doing?
I mean, what made that even more special is the fact that absolutely nobody had me on their top 5 radar. Nobody expected me to be in the top 5 in that first year. A lot of people was writing me off. And we really had to kick the door down. We kicked the door down for that for that third place finish. So that made it extremely
gratifying.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Gratifying, and it just made me so damn happy.
I mean, I would hope so.
It reminds me of the year Coleman won the Olympia, because he was taking like 8th or whatever back then.
Right.
And then he came in, people were like, no, nobody expected anything from him.
Yeah.
They looked and go, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Holy shit.
I know. Exactly. So exactly that kind of feeling.
Yeah. And the backstage mentality you were saying, it reminds me of something Dorian Yates said. Whereas he had to pass obviously that same barrier, and he goes, well, someone's got to win it. Why not me?
Well, yeah, exactly.
I have 2 arms, 2 legs. So do you.
Exactly.
What's the difference?
And I feel like any competitor should go into a show, get ready for a show, not downing themselves and not feeling like, oh, it's impossible for me to win. I mean, that's the reason why you're a competitor. You're there to compete. So you should always like you said, like he has 2 arms and 2 legs, just like Lee Haney. So why shouldn't he feel like he can possibly beat Lee Haney?
Yeah.
I mean, so yeah, absolutely, I agree with that.
What'd you guys do after that first W?
Oh, we went straight to the Cheesecake Factory after that. But that's Justin's go-to place, by the way. Actually,
Cheesecake Factory.
Yeah, Cheesecake Factory.
Are you a fan of the Cheesecake?
I mean, I like Cheesecake Factory.
He converted you, didn't he?
Yeah.
You would have never thought about the Cheesecake Factory before that. You were like, pass it. You're like, I guess it's good, and he's just like, whatever.
Yeah, but you know that, like, especially the shows out here, like that. I mean, that they have out in Teaneck, New Jersey.
Yeah.
That's like the go-to place for everybody who finishes this show out there. Like, they go right to that
nothing else out there, really.
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
At that time, by the time a show like that finishes,
it's
like midnight, 11 o'clock at night.
Hell yeah.
Like, oh shit, what else is open?
Probably good business for Cheesecake Factory.
Oh, they love it.
I wonder if those the owners of that particular one, like, expect that crowd. I mean, they know the time of year that crowd's going to come in.
I guess by now they do. They
must,
should,
right?
Like every weekend after the beginning of March, a bunch of big tanned-up guys are going to walk in there.
Exactly.
They should run specials. That'd be pretty cool. That's a good business strategy right there.
That would be freaking great.
Run like 2-for-1 cheesecake specials. Yeah. I'm sure they already get packed. Could you imagine how many more people would just be rocking with them after a show?
Hell yeah.
Yeah, I'm a baked good guy, man. I like that after my shows. I was ice cream, baked goods.
Yeah.
Then I had beer, and the beer didn't sit well. I was like, oh God, I hadn't drank in like a year.
Yeah, no.
I was like, oh my God, I feel like shit right now.
But something, like, even to go back to how, like, everything happens for reasons. Like, what makes it even crazier is that going back to the 2016 Easterns when I was getting ready for that with Justin, my mindset was this is still gonna be my last show. Like I said, like even if I won, I didn't have any aspiration to want to like keep going. Like after I said, you know what? All I want is to look good for this damn show. Finally, really look. I mean, even though I won an overall before 2012, I still feel like I could have looked better than that. Like I was like, Justin, just help me look my best, for this show. And I never told him this, but in my mind, I was like, this is gonna be my last hurrah, But then, even before the show even happened, like Justin was asking me, well, because I guess he saw like how good I was getting, how I was progressing, and he said, well, if you win, George, I mean, would you be willing to do nationals 2 weeks later? And then I was thinking, I was like, I guess,
I suppose.
Yeah. So,
I'll see if the flights are on sale.
Yeah.
See if we get a good deal.
Yeah, exactly.
Where's it at? Oh shit, I don't have the miles to that, man.
Yeah, man. Because at that, like I said, at that time, like I felt like my mode was changing. I was, I was in my, technology mode, and I felt like that's where I was really
where the heart was lying.
Yeah, you know what I mean. So, but I was wrong. This is
for a good reason.
Yeah,
for a good reason. Yep.
I know I know you touched on. Oh, I just lost it. Oh my God. Hold on. It was I know you touched on doing everything under the radar. So you flew under the radar. Nobody kind of expected it, and you did all this without a sponsor too.
Yeah, that's right.
Up until what year? I mean, you really linked up with Redcon.
Yeah, my first 2 Olympias, I had no sponsor.
That's crazy.
Yeah, exactly.
That's crazy.
So putting yourself out there, all those shows, that's on you, man. That's not
me. Yeah.
that's not funded by anybody else. So
right.
talk about betting on yourself and pushing through.
Exactly. I mean, I compare that to like because I'm from Jamaica, Queens, and I'm from the same neighborhood that 50 Cent came out of, and that's just like when like after unfortunately when he got shot, and then all the record companies didn't want to have nothing to do with him. He took the matters into his own hands. He started making his mixtapes and everything, putting them out there, and then that's what got the attention of Eminem, and then Eminem brought him on, and then boom, he exploded. Like that, that's I kind of like compare it to that. It's like don't have a sponsor. I didn't have a sponsor at that time, so I gotta promote myself. I just gotta put myself out there. So that's why when I was get ready for these shows, I'll be putting out a lot of content, showing my physique and whatnot. I was like, look, when the time comes for me to get a sponsor, I'll eventually get one.
But it wasn't your number one concern like a lot of people. A lot of people are looking for free supplements,
exactly.
and that's really why they're doing this shit. They just want to have a reason to say, "Oh yeah, I'm a sponsored athlete."
Right.
No, you like a lot of other people that we've had on the show. That the biggest thing I want to make a point of is, you guys are doing it for the love of the sport. Right. You guys are doing it for the love of pushing yourself further and further each show. And then when and if that sponsor comes, cool.
Exactly. And I'm also a person that I like to work for everything I get. I never want something just handed to me and whatnot. So I was completely fine with grinding it out. I mean, because even when you do have a sponsor, you still have to grind. It's not like you know what I mean.
Of course.
So
it's actually in a lot of cases more work, because now you're doing it for 2 entities.
Yeah, exactly. It's true. So so my first 2 Olympias, I didn't have a sponsor, and then it was shortly after the 2018 Mr. Olympia. Redcon one day, they reached out to me. The athlete manager, Rudy is his name. He hit me up, and we were talking. He told me that Aaron Singerman personally took interest in me and wanted to bring me on. And I knew of Redcon at that time, but I didn't know like details about him. So that's when I started doing my research on him and everything. And I just loved everything about him. It showed that they're constantly growing. And I loved everything that they represented. So I told Rudy, and if I'll be happy to join the team. And I assured him, I was like, if you bring me on, then I promise that to do my part and more. So I've been with them for almost a full year now.
That's
and
awesome.
I love it. And it's also good when you could be with a company that has products that you actually take too, like their products are awesome. Everybody loves them. I haven't heard, really anybody say anything, bad about any of the products, that we have, so.
I remember when the Total War and I think the Big Noise came out, like the stack of them.
Yes.
That was great.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, it was awesome.
I used to grab the little ones from Total right before
Yeah.
I go to the gym.
Yeah.
The liquid.
You mean the
Total War.
RTDs? You mean?
Yes. The liquid Total War.
Yeah.
Slam it back.
Shut
I
it
didn't have to
down.
mix any powder. It tasted
yeah.
great.
Yeah.
Hell
And
yeah.
that Bait Allen, he would kick me right in the face right
yeah.
right when I started.
Hell yeah,
Man.
And I, like 'cause I did the same thing. I used the RTDs for more than just before I'm about to work out. Like I remember I had to wake up super early to catch a flight, and I was dumb tired, so I just popped on a RTD, and I was good to go for that flight. I was good to go.
Imagine
done.
George at TSA. What do you mean I gotta unpack all my stuff? God damn, let him through. I'm sorry, I'm all hopped up on RTD. Just running through.
Hell yeah. We have and we have a new flavor that's going to be coming out soon for the Total War. I believe it's called Vice. It's called
Miami Vice type of flavor.
Yeah, exactly.
It tastes like stripper sweat.
It's fucking delicious. It's stripper sweat.
Sign me up. Where do I get it? Give me all of it. Can I be a beta tester?
But it's super delicious. I know everybody's gonna love that one when it comes out.
I'm sure.
You were down. I know I mentioned it before because I was asking you if you wound up going down there a couple weeks ago. So you went down to Florida a couple weeks ago recently.
Yes.
And it's cool because they just opened the gym from what I saw.
Yep.
Gym looks sick.
Sick.
And I'm sure you obviously just told us about the new flavor. They keep you linked in with a lot of, I guess, formulation and stuff that they got going on coming down the pipeline, which is good because I'm sure a lot of supplement companies kind of keep their athletes and people not in the dark, but they just don't keep them in with the company, as a saying.
Right. I mean, because they also want us to try them ourselves, so we can give them positive, give our honest feedback about it, So. So when I tried that, I was like, wow, this is amazing. Yeah, hell yeah. I can't wait for this, this to, come out. And, and we're starting to advertise it now. So hell yeah. Yeah, but you're right. It is good to keep, like the athletes and all your employees in the loop so you can get all that, like focus group feedback.
It's directly in the network. It makes it easy.
Right.
You don't have to push them out to anybody. It's right then and there. And you're actually using the actual product.
Absolutely.
So it's not like it's going to be somebody that buys it once and just like, man, whatever, and you gave them free shit.
Right.
Your athletes are the ones that are going to be using it. They're going to be the real testers of this stuff. So, So what's your favorite product? The pre-workout?
I mean, it's hard to pick a favorite one because I love so many of them. I mean, like I love the GI juice. I take that every morning.
That?
It's greens and digestive enzymes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and I take that every morning. Of course, I mean, when it comes to the pre-workout, I love the Total War and the Big Noise. I usually mix those up, and occasionally I'll mix the Moab with it too. Yeah, you know about the Moab?
Is that the carb?
It's
no, that's Cluster Bomb,
it's
right?
Like it's not. Yeah, Cluster Bomb is the
because I used that when I was down filming Flex,
right?
And he's like we got a bunch of supplements over there that Aaron just leaves every now and then at his gym before they had theirs.
Yeah,
and he's like, just use whatever you want. I tried the Cluster Bomb and it tasted dope. It was the grape.
Yeah. Cluster Bomb is dope, but Moab it's a natural anabolic booster, pretty much. So you can it comes in powder form. You can just mix it up with your Big Noise and your Total War to make a cool cocktail like that. I also love Halo, which is it's also like an anabolic booster, and you just for a guy you can take it about 2 to 3 times, 2 or 3 capsules a day.
Yeah.
A woman maybe 1 to 2. Let's see, and Isotope, which is the whey protein, which is the protein I usually have. I love that. I usually take that around like post workout time and whatnot, or in the middle of the day, just to
just like a little filler type of thing.
Hell yeah. But in the off season, that's when I'm mostly taking MRE, which is
the meal replacement.
Exactly.
The bars are great.
The bars,
they're good.
Excellent.
Yeah,
Excellent.
the bars are great.
Excellent.
What's your favorite flavor? I think I had the banana. Is the banana bread? Is that one of them?
We have banana bread one.
The banana bread is good.
My favorite one is the peanut butter crunch one.
Oh yeah, that's the one I've had. Yeah, I had that and I had the banana nut bread one, but that peanut butter one is ridiculous.
So good.
I'm a fan of a bar. The only issue, and you know what? I'm pretty full after I had the meal replacement bar from them. I'll eat a Quest bar and I'm hungry an hour later.
Yeah.
I mean, I get that the calories are lower on it and everything like that, but like when you actually have a filling bar, it's nice to have.
But that's because it's like it's made with whole foods. It's like they don't call it a meal replacement for nothing.
Yeah. Man, Redcon is lucky they got you, man.
Oh, I appreciate it. I'm lucky to be with them.
You know what? If you were reading through your comments, I think Herbalife or Fit Tea. Almost might have found you.
What?
Fit tea. That's what all the fitness girls do. Listen, he's got
If
great.
they-
He's
if they
got great
came across
glutes.
your Instagram, this might have been done.
Yeah.
He's got great glutes. So.
Yeah,
Could you imagine George in a Bang energy drink commercial, like on the beach, like the girls? Could you imagine posing in the sand?
Yeah, right.
George, wear the bikini. It's uniform.
Oh, I would lose my mind.
I've only seen like this Bang. Do they sponsor men or they? Because I only see women really.
I think
I'm
that-
sure they do, but
I'm sure they do. It's just really about pushing sex sells. That's for them.
Yeah.
I could be wrong. If somebody wants to at me and let me know differently, at me and let me know differently. But
Yeah.
I know they definitely probably do have male athletes. But for the most part, it's just find the hottest chick you can find, do a scandalous shoot with her holding a Bang energy drink on a beach, and then just push the content out and put ad dollars behind it.
and then bring them all to the Olympia so everybody goes to your booth.
For
meet the pretty girls.
real, they got it popping at
That's
their
all I'm
booth
thinking of
every
right now.
year.
Yeah.
Oh my, George
Well,
is like,
apparently it works.
Yeah.
I'm gonna start doing some scandalous ad commercials holding Total War, and we didn't really be on and popping.
nope, they cut us off on the live. That's all right.
All right.
Yeah, that's good. Just like
There's a time limit on you?
I
I
Yeah.
guess so.
Sorry, we did all right. We did all
Yeah.
right.
We might have just been too good.
Yeah,
That's all it is.
yeah, we still got the camera.
Yeah.
That's cool.
But so you did that first Olympia, like to get back on track with what we were talking about.
Yep.
Did that first Olympia, and then how long did you take off to kind of just clear out, feel better? And because I know you have to do that after every show, really.
Pretty much,
Yeah.
yeah.
That's the best way to treat your body because
Absolutely, because health is important. Like when you're getting ready for shows, you're putting your body through a lot of stress.
Yeah.
You know what I mean. So it's important for you to give your body the rest it needs to normalize and recover. So run yourself into the ground. And I do that after every show. Well, after every big show like the Olympia, especially like after that 2017 Olympia, I had to because I had to.
it was a long season.
Yeah, exactly. So I took about I want to say 2.5 months, to kind of let myself rest a little bit,
Let the body
recoup.
bounce back.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like I went on a vacation early in 2018 to the Philippines.
Oh, dope.
Yeah, with my friends and everything, and that was a full week that I was out there with not touching the weight at all. You
How'd
know?
that feel?
It felt good actually.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it.
You need it. After
Yeah,
that.
hell yeah. I mean, because as much as I love training, like when you train so hard for so long, it feels good to kind of just have that little.
Be able to
Nice.
rest.
Yeah, exactly.
Kick,
Body
the,
needs-
kick
just
the
needs
feet,
it.
Kick the feet
up
up.
a little bit, and
Yeah.
and set the clock back to zero.
Yeah,
and just-
exactly.
We'll ease back into the lifestyle.
Exactly. Because if you, when you think about it, a week is not that long. Especially when you've been training for years and years. But even if you get back and psychologically you feel like you may have lost something, your body remembers what you had. So as soon as you start training back again, you're gonna gain that back, and probably more too because you let your body rest.
Yeah, this has been my first time since having more than 2 days off
Right.
in at least a
Yeah.
year and a half.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
I haven't. I'm the worst when it comes to that. So this 2 weeks is definitely well rested and needed.
Exactly.
Yeah, I'm getting to that end of the 2 weeks though, and I'm itching.
Yeah.
And now that I got the clearance this morning to go, I'm probably gonna go tomorrow morning.
Good,
but
good.
it's just been,
Yeah.
it's been a lesson again
Right.
in you gotta respect your body because it does everything and it's all you got. So
Absolutely.
you have to be able to give the respect if you're gonna expect out of it
Yeah.
150% every single day.
Absolutely.
Yeah. See, I was gonna say I'm in an awkward middle ground with it right now because after I did the Easterns, I took a week, let myself relax a little bit, then got back into the gym. But I can't slowly ease back into it because when I go away, I'm going to be training at 150%.
I don't
exactly.
think he knows. I don't think he knows what you're going.
Oh, I'm going to on the 30th of this month, and obviously the Easterns was 3 weeks ago.
Okay.
I'm going to Spain to train with and learn with Dorian for a week.
Really?
Yeah, so that's going to be from 0 to fucking 150.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
So I gave myself a week to relax, let my joints catch up with me, and then
Well, how'd that come about?
so the DY certification,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Well, he was running that, and my coach Paul Neville,
Mm-hmm.
he reached out to him going, "Hey, do you have anything else?" The last one was actually the day of the Easterns.
Right.
Do you have anything out in the United States? And he's going, no, I don't. I'm sorry. But if you want, you and one other person can fly out to Spain after Generation Iron releases and we'll do the whole cert, train with me one-on-one. We'll have a dinner after everything's done. And yeah, that's really it. So instead of a big group of 30 people, it's me, Neville, and Dorian in Spain for a week, just basically picking Yoda's brain.
Wow.
It's not raising your hand going,
Pretty
hey,
cool,
what
right?
about this?
Yeah.
And he's pissed off at listening to 20 other people all day. It's just the three of us.
That's amazing.
You're gonna catch George on the beach in Spain. You're like, oh shit, John, what are you doing here? Oh, and now that you mention it, yeah, I'm ready to train. You raise all this shit with him.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah, it's gonna be it's gonna be a once in a lifetime experience.
Cool. Hell yeah.
Yeah, so I'm excited for
So
that.
definitely cherish that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm going from rest to go train like an animal.
Yeah.
I'm excited to see that, man. That's gonna be
Yeah,
fun.
me too.
That's gonna be cool.
Yep. So like right now, like so like I said, like so if I take usually about 2 months and a half off. Right, like I didn't train yesterday, and I'm not training today, and the reason for that is because I'm actually going to the doctor tomorrow because get my yearly checkup and everything, make sure everything is good and everything, and then once I get the clean bill of health, then start training back up again, But the reason why I'm not training, for those who may not know, the reason why I didn't train yesterday and today because of the doctor's appointments, because when you lift heavy, that could somewhat throw your numbers off a little bit. So just to kind of
Clean house.
yeah, exactly,
See what's really going on.
exactly.
Yeah.
Which is the smart and methodical way to do it. So
Right.
kudos to you because a lot of guys probably don't do that. And
Right,
I didn't
no.
know that. So
Yeah.
when I go to the,
Yeah.
I mean, not that I'm not lifting as heavy as you, but when I go to the doctor, I'm sure that would be good if I just cycled off of my training
Yeah.
and tapered off and then just went.
Just
and,
at least like 2 days before or 3 days before the appointment. You know what I mean?
So your nervous system relax a little bit.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So let me ask you. So you hit that Olympia, you take the time off, and then you do the Olympia again.
Yeah, I did the Olympia again in
But
2018.
and
That was
you-
the only
and-
show I did.
And you waited. Yeah, you
Yeah.
gave yourself the entire year, essentially a year almost,
Yeah.
to rest, recover, and then do a prep
That's
to go
right.
into it.
That's
So
right.
when did the off season really start for you?
I would say the off season pretty much started for me like mid-January.
Cool.
Mid-January is when the off season started, and then the like actual prep started like around mid-June.
All right.
Yeah, 'cause that's all.
Yeah.
Yeah, mid-June is usually the time that we start getting ready for the Olympia. So
And how did that feel?
it felt great actually.
Yeah.
It felt great. I felt like I made a lot of improvements. Definitely felt like I looked better than I did in 2017. For sure. So we used that time accordingly. And I was happy with with what we did. I mean, especially with the way class physique is was growing. We knew we had to come in better. We knew we couldn't come in there the same and still expect the same placements, or a higher placement. So we had to improve, and we did that, And then as you guys know, we ended up getting another top 3 finish at this 2018 Olympia, and this felt just as I mean, even though like I was we were going in there with the objective to win, and we were very confident that we could win. It was still, nice to see that we was able to hold down that top 3 spot with the continuing growing division.
Yeah.
'Cause,
And that division's going quick.
yeah,
It's growing real quick.
Real quick.
The caliber of athletes.
I mean, that year in 2018, I mean, you had legitimate open bodybuilders coming down to Classic. You had Regan come in there. You had Henry Pierre Arnaud come in there. So it was like we knew, okay, we definitely got to get better now because now we're going to be going up against like actual bodybuilders.
Yeah.
So so it felt really good to see still secure that top 3 spot.
Definitely. Top 3 in the world. Can't complain about that.
there's
really
nothing to complain about that.
Yeah.
Right.
And then and then obviously bouncing from that, then you went and did the Arnold.
Yeah. And
Now was that planned originally, or is that something that you wanted to do, or is that something that Redcon stated that they wanted you to do? Because I know that at that point you were with them.
Yeah. No, the Arnold that came about kind of like it came about at first like as almost like a little joke because I remember I was training legs with Justin and I was on the leg press and did a set and I was just resting in between sets. And then Justin, like, I don't know, I guess something just went into his mind, and he started, he looked at me with a smirk on his face, like, how do you feel about doing the Arnold? And he's like, kind of chuckled, and I was like, I don't care if you want to do it, I'm down if you want to do it. And he's like, nah, we'll just wait out for the Olympia, so you have all the time you need to, to get improved that much more. And then and it kept coming up like somehow. We just like, I was like, and I think I called him like later on that day. I was like, if you want to do that, I'm really down. I mean, and we started talking to different people, getting opinions from different people. Like I actually asked Bev herself, like, what does she think? And then I also talked to Steve. My good friend Angelica Nebbia, who she works with the
Love
Olympia.
Angelica.
Yeah,
She's down in Texas now.
Is she?
Yeah. Oh, no, not Angelica. I was thinking Tashera. But yes, I know Angelica from the magazine. Yes.
Yeah.
I love Angelica
exactly.
too. Yes.
Yeah, exactly. So, and everybody was saying, why not go for it? I mean, right now, you're top 3 in the world, and the one thing that was said to me that really struck volumes is like, strike while the iron is hot. You know what I mean? So I was like, you know what? Yeah, absolutely right. Let's just go in there and let's just do it. And then, so me and Justin, we made the decision to officially put our hat there in the Arnold Classic lineup.
Yeah.
And that's what we did, and Redcon was completely for it, and so hell yeah.
And they were one of the sponsors for the show too, so they already had a booth out there, so it made it easy to kind of do your thing, and then you had a home base out there.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that was cool.
Yep.
And how'd you like your first Arnold experience? I mean, besides winning it, which is great, but
That's not a bad first Arnold.
how did you like the Arnold?
No, I love the Arnold. Like I mean, because I was at the Arnold before in 2018, and that was when Arash and Breon were top 2. So I was out there, before. So I mean, I kind of knew what to
doing
expect.
his research, scoping it out. He's still under the radar, even though he's a top threat. He's sitting there taking notes. He's like, all right, I'll see you motherfuckers next year.
He's walking around with his back, a little baseball cap over his eyes, going, "You don't know it's me."
Is that the bull? I know that back. Nah, bro.
Oh yeah, man. No, but I loved the Arnold experience. The expo was great. Being there at the Redcon 1 booth and everybody coming up and saying hi, wanting to take pictures, it's just like kind of surreal feeling. Because it's always still surreal when when people are really really happy to take a picture with you. Because I always see myself as I'm just George, man. But when they really like are so happy to see you, it's like it means a lot, and I appreciate all the supporters and everything. So it was good. Also, because I'm also with Protan, so I also had to go. I was at the Protan booth too, and it was and everybody with Protan is so nice to me and everything, and I love the Protan family, So
Now that he mentions it, every time he competes, he does be glistening up there. I see it.
A little bit,
now that he says it.
Hell yeah. For this year's Olympia, especially, oh my God, like they.
I wasn't out there this year, but you looked good in the pictures, man.
Thank you, bro. Yeah, they Protan, they really did they freaking did an awesome job with my tan. I mean they always do. But I was especially happy with this year's, tanning work and everything. I was polished.
Good. Yeah.
Thank you.
It's a little meticulous. It's all the puzzle pieces that lead to the full package: the diet, the training, getting out to the posing, the tan, and then your actual routine. It all leads to what is the actual thing.
Exactly. That's why there's no way you can really call like bodybuilding a truly individual sport, because there's so many different, factors, and so many different parts into it that goes into that one athlete, that can lead to success, what I mean? So it's not the athlete just doing everything on its own. Like, Redcon 1, they got my back, Protan got my back. I mean, and now I'm with I'm also with Mega Fit Meals. So
nice.
Yeah. So I don't so now I have, it's convenient for me to have meals like when I'm traveling and whatnot.
That's good, man.
Yeah. So
that's a battle on its own, man. Getting the ability to prep everything and do it all.
But before I used to it is what it is. But whenever I would travel somewhere, as soon as I land and check into my hotel, the first place I would go right straight to the supermarket to do my shopping. And also I'd have to make sure I have a place with a kitchen so I can cook the stuff. Yeah. Now I don't necessarily, all I need is a microwave, with the Mega Fit Meals, I could just pop it into the microwave to, unthaw it and boom, I'm good.
I was scarfing those down when I was in Florida.
Oh, yeah.
Is Flex still with them?
He is.
Yeah. So I was scarfing those down when I was down in Florida. They were good, man.
Very good.
I had no complaints about those.
Hell yeah.
That's good.
Yeah, I've had a couple other meal prep services where got me bloated as hell.
Really?
Like farty. It was gross, man.
It's full of salt. Half of them are full of salt and cheese.
Oh my God, I felt like garbage.
All it is.
Yeah, dude. I kept getting I kept getting just like even the regular chicken that was done or the regular steak. just feel like shit after I ate it. I was like, what is this issue? And then I kept thinking, every time I feel like this, it's right after I eat this food. And then so I stopped using them for those meals. So
I see.
when you get a good food sponsor, man, that's big.
It's
Hell
important.
yeah. Definitely. So yeah, man. But so we and winning that Arnold Classic title was just like, like it was like the tops. Like after they called my name for first place, I was like, is this real? Like I was like, I wanted to pinch myself, make sure I wasn't sleeping, because it was like, wow, I can't believe this. Like I can say I won an Arnold Classic title. This is like, this just 3 years ago I wanted nothing to do with the sport, and now I'm an Arnold Classic champion. Like it's like unbelievable.
Which is once again, I'm gonna say it, no small feat.
No, hell no.
Yeah, not at all.
No.
No small feat.
If you was to take away the Olympia, what would be probably the most prestigious title there is?
Yeah,
I would
not
say the
probably.
Arnold
Not
Classic.
probably.
Yeah.
It is.
It's rivaling it.
Now let me ask you, because obviously you've had 2 Olympias and then the third.
Right.
So now this past year, which was after the Arnold.
Yep.
So you before this past Olympia in September, you've had 2 Olympia victories, top 3, which to me is a huge victory.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
2 Olympia victories and then a top finish at the Arnold.
Right.
What was more monumental for you? Because the Olympia is the big stage, and the Arnold is no small stage either. But one could say,
you know what? I think. Wow.
that's a tough one, right?
Yeah, that's
I was thinking that.
one.
I was like, I feel like I'm gonna put them all against the wall on this one.
You know what? I mean, like, it's like.
That's what I'm saying.
I'm a little bit torn. All right, because this is where I feel. Like, the most special award to me is the Arnold, because number one, that's the win. That's a win. And I'll never forget. It was like after the Arnold, and then we landed back in New York, and we were waiting for Uber, at the passenger pickup place at the JFK. Right, there was these girls that were they flew in from somewhere. They had nothing to do with bodybuilding. Knew nothing about the Arnold Classic. Nothing. Right. Yeah. They were just girls, having fun, playing around. They was on their Instagram, and they was like, we're gonna put you on. We're gonna put you guys on live, and I was like, all right, why you want to put us on live? So they're like, yeah, we're in New York, blah blah blah, and we're standing next to these guys here, blah blah blah, and then you could see
the messages rolling in.
The messages were rolling in, and somebody and people were like, yo, that's George Peterson. That was so freaking surreal. I was like, I couldn't.
Tell him to take his shirt off.
Yeah, exactly.
Take his shirt off. Show the wheels. They're like, give him the phone. Get these girls out of
here. and that's another reason why, like, I feel like like the Arnold Classic, because that's never happened like before, like after like but like at the Arnold, now like people who just to show like how now I guess I'm really getting out there like that, like it's that was really surreal and special. But the reason why I say I'm a little torn is because I have to say that this Olympia that just passed, where I got third again, was my absolute best look to date. Absolute. I mean, this look that I brought to the Olympia Olympia this year.
Hashtag crispy.
Yeah, would have destroyed any look that I had, even the Arnold look that I had. It would destroy that, So it's also I'm a little torn. Which one is more?
Which means that next year is going to be even better, which is great.
Yeah.
Yes, that's true.
So we get to look forward to seeing you unveil next year.
Yes, you'll be. Next year I plan to bring a George Peterson that's never been seen before. Because this will be the first time that me and Justin work together for an actual bodybuilding show, And anybody
that doesn't know, which I was going to say, you guys announced that you will be moving up a division.
Yes,
and you will be doing 212.
Yes, that's correct. We're going to be moving to the 212 division. I mean, basically because. I feel like we've done everything we can in Classic. I mean, I think it's pretty much clear as far as the Olympia is concerned, of like the look that they, I guess, they want for the title. Because I mean, I keep hearing all the time that I was the best bodybuilder up there, but I guess that's not necessarily what's wanted for for the Olympia title and Classic. They, and I can understand it in a way. I can understand it because if you have, there's no way. I guess you could say that's the reason why you have these divisions, so they're different from each other. You know, like a bikini competitor shouldn't look like she could win a figure show. A figure competitor shouldn't look like she could win a women's physique show.
Should look like they belong in their respective divisions.
Exactly. So, and all I've been hearing after the Olympia was, "Oh, you look so so good. You possibly could have won the 212." Now, so if that's what people are actually seeing, and let's say they gave me the classic Olympia title, and at the same time people are saying he looks like he could have won 212, then I guess that blurs the lines between
divisions.
Two.
Yeah.
So I can understand it in that regard.
Yeah.
All right, fine. That's fine. But I can't change my my structure.
Right.
There's no so
But you're I've said it on the show a bunch of times with multiple guests. I've said it in person to different people. I've always said you look phenomenal as a classic physique competitor, but I know that you should be in 212. Like I just had a feeling, and your lines are so pretty and so clean that it's like that Flex Lewis type of line for 212. You know what I'm saying? That not a lot of guys have that clean of lines that just like all the striations and muscle, the grooves everywhere.
Right.
And I'm not saying that isn't something that can be brought in classic because it's there.
Right.
But when you, like you said, when you were blurring the line between two divisions and you keep getting third at the Olympia, which is phenomenal.
Right.
I know that although that's a huge accomplishment, you want number one.
Well, yeah,
because that's why everybody competes.
Yeah, absolutely.
So knowing that there could be a blowout victory, maybe not your first one, but maybe your second one. Who knows? Because you're still going to learn your body going to a new division.
Right.
It's going to be interesting to see you grow into the new division.
I mean, that's what I was about to say is because this is going to be your first legit off season for a long time, right?
Yeah. Because I always had to stop myself from growing to a point.
You were close to making the weight.
Yeah.
It's kind of the same thing as Flex Lewis going into his first real off season for the longest time because now that he's going up to open.
Right.
So what's the difference between the off season you're having right now versus what you've had trying to stay in that little weight cap?
Years.
Yeah.
Well, now it's just more food.
That's what I'm saying.
It's just more food.
Yeah.
That's simple, you know.
Do you do well with that, or is this something? Is it because I know some guys their bodies fight them when they're trying to put down that much food.
Yeah.
Or is your genetic and your body okay with eating that much more now?
I mean, like I've gotten better at eating more food now. I mean, I'm still like I don't have like in my off season, I don't have the biggest appetite. I mean, there does get points where like, oh, I got to eat again now, like, and then you feel like you got to really kind of, force it down. But I'm going to try to take certain measures to kind of keep my appetite at a certain point where it won't be that much of a problem for me to, get down that food. Like like whatever it takes, like even if that means I have to, even during the off season, do a little bit of cardio to kind of keep my appetite going a little bit. Whatever it takes. I mean, also I have like the digestive enzymes that help me digest the food better and everything that could also help. So, but I've gotten much better as far as eating is concerned. So I don't see myself having a problem. But like I mean, like you said, I mean before we would always want to try to keep me at like 220 for my off season for classic, because I have to come down to like 192. Now like. We might, 240 for sure, but depending on, just see what happens. I mean, it could be between 240 and 250, and then die down to to 212. So I'm really excited about that. And it's really exciting because now like I can be the best George Peterson possible. You don't
have to limit yourself now.
Yeah, exactly. Because look, this was always my thing with with classic. It felt like. And y'all can let me know, your opinion on it, if you agree or not and whatnot. But I always felt like that there's different versions of classic. I always felt like that because let's say we look at the bodybuilders we consider classic from back in the day, let's just call out a few names. So let's say like Lee Labrada, Barry DeMay, we could say Arnold Schwarzenegger, Frank Zane, Serge Nabray, Serge Nabray, or
you're right.
Okay. And then I would put Flex Wheeler in there, right?
Yeah.
So now if you put them, and I also personally think also Sean Ray too. I like all of them.
Yeah.
So let's say you put them all on the same stage, and you they're competing against each other. I mean, all these guys pretty much have different physiques. The ones you could probably say are the closest similar to each other would probably be Flex and Sean, but for the most part, they're all different physiques. how would you judge this show?
That's the hardest thing.
Very difficult. It's very subjective.
Yeah, it's
exactly.
really the only division, I guess, besides bikini maybe, where there's so many different builds on the stage, and you got to figure out what the criteria is. Bodybuilding's easy. Biggest, leanest, symmetrical, done.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Physique, same thing, but from the top up.
Right.
But classic, there's so many different builds and bone structures, and where you have more weight on your back, but he has more on his arms, and he has more on his chest.
Yeah.
Which way are we going with this? He has a tinier waist, but you open up twice as large. Who knows?
Yeah.
Let's figuring out which way they want to go
Well,
with it.
me personally, like I feel like that it would have, since there's so many different physiques, that you would have to. I mean, I would think that it would have to be like judged, like almost as if bodybuilding. Like which one of these guys has the most muscle? Like you said, with symmetry, proportion, conditioning. I mean, because what else what other metrics could you really decide on a winner? I mean, like you could say, all right, oh well, this guy is more classic than this, but why? Like why is Barry DeMay more classic than a Flex Wheeler, or why is, or vice versa? Why is Flex Wheeler more classic than Barry DeMay? Like, that's the answers that I want to know.
And the other thing too is the classic bodybuilders back in the day when it was classic. It was bodybuilding, but it was the classic look now, quote unquote.
Right.
None of them were going for a classic look. They were trying to be as big and as lean as they could. They were trying to be bodybuilders.
Yeah.
So classic physique nowadays is technically bodybuilding what they wanted to be back then. If that makes any sense.
Well, yes.
Yeah. So it's what are they trying to incorporate? The height weight bodybuilding, where you're trying to live the lives of the classic guys, or match the physiques they had back in the day, but we can never go backwards in conditioning.
I don't think. Yeah, exactly. I don't think that's what it is. I don't think that we want to match what they had back then.
You can never go backwards in conditioning.
Yeah, because like you said, if those guys back in the day had I guess the knowledge that we have today, they would have took it there.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Let alone just on nutrition.
Yeah.
How much different it is.
Yeah. I mean, look, if you just and also just human beings in general just evolve and change just by the way things happen. If you look, I always when I see some of because my sister, I'm the baby in the family. I have two sisters. They're both older than me.
Had the pleasure of meeting one at.
Oh yeah, that's right. You met my sister.
That's right. Said I was Casey.
That's right.
She's like, you Casey Fati? I'm like, no, but I wear his shirt enough where you think I was.
That's right. Shout out to my sister Reneé. That was Reneé.
Oh, I love her. She's a sweetheart. She was great. She's like, can I take a selfie with you? I'm like, oh, hell yeah.
I was so like when she sent me that picture, I was like, oh wow. I was like, where'd you see Nikki at? And she was like at the Apple store. All right, so yeah, but so she's 11 years apart from me. She's 11 years older than me.
Oh wow, okay.
Now and sometimes like when I see her looking through like her old high school pictures and everything, like I'll see like how the girls looked back then, and when she was in high school, and then I'll think about how the girls looked when I was in high school. Mm-hmm. It's just completely different. Different bodies, you know what I mean? Like, they like it's like almost like, the girls kind of looked normal back then when she was in high school, and then when I was in high school, that's when the girls started to get all these crazy curves. You know what I mean? Like, it's just people evolve. So it's like, guys are not gonna look, even if you're not gonna look like that back then. Because food is different now. I mean, there might be different hormones in foods today than there are.
That's what it was about.
My coach, I told you about that with the GMOs in the food.
Yeah, it's insane.
Yeah, the GMOs in the food. My coach broke it down for me. Mm-hmm. He broke it down for me as a lot of the GMOs are pro-estrogen.
Oh, I see.
So think about it on the scale of most parents, especially nowadays, aren't thinking of nutrition for their kids. Although the bodybuilding industry and the fitness industry seems very large, it's a very small community.
Yeah, it's very small.
And although there's a lot of people that you see, quote unquote, being fitness oriented and shit like that,
right?
When it comes down to it, they see 99-cent fruit snacks in the aisle for their family, and they're trying to feed everybody. Yeah. They're just gonna grab cheap shit and throw it in the car because it's food on a tight dime.
Right.
And their kids are gonna like it. It tastes good.
Yeah, and it tastes good and it's sugary and it's great, whatever. Right. But a lot of those pro-estrogen foods, my coach made the comparison of. You see a lot of girls that are developed much younger nowadays.
Yes.
Like crazy. You would think that a girl that's like 15 years old is like 21, 22. And it's fucking crazy.
Yeah.
But the men, you notice a lot of them don't have as dense a muscle And I'm not saying that the dudes were
skinnier
like,
and
I'm not
fat.
saying dudes were brolic, but
Yeah.
think about like Friday Night Lights type shit.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
like back in the day, football on Friday nights at high school and stuff like that.
Right.
The dudes were generally a larger type of person.
Yes.
Yeah.
And now you think about all those GMOs and all the shit that's been put into the system of food and for cheaper and profit margins in the food industry, especially, what it's done in the long run for families and the genetic makeup of males and females.
Right.
Yeah.
And like you said, you look from when your sister to you, the curve started getting crazier,
It's
and
crazy.
now
Yeah.
and it just keeps kind of going down the line.
Yes. Yes.
So it's wild when you think about it, what that
Right.
food's actually doing to people.
Very. Very.
Even eating organic versus non-organic.
That's
You
true.
know, if your chicken is pumped up with testosterone to get a lot bigger and growth hormone, all that testosterone is going to convert over to estrogen by the time it gets to your mouth.
Right. It's
So
true.
you're eating a half pound of chicken and 2 milligrams of estrogen
Right.
every single time
And it
when
may
you're trying to get bigger.
And it may not be a lot in retrospect, but over the course of weeks, months, years, that shit
A
adds up.
lifetime,
Yeah,
a whole
a lifetime.
lifetime.
I see. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's true. It's very true.
And then all the preservatives and, regular packaged food too, for the most part.
Yeah.
I take everything back to an evolutionary standpoint with my clients, with everybody, with myself. Evolutionarily speaking, humans were made to break down whole foods.
Mm-hmm.
But now you're throwing chemicals and, try this sugar that's not actually sugar, it's 0 cal.
Right.
All these chemicals in somebody's body and saying, good luck processing this. When over billions of years of evolution, we didn't have these preserving agents.
Right.
And it's saying, good luck trying to figure this out.
Right. Exactly.
The body just freaks out. It's
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
what
Like,
is
what
this
is this
shit?
exactly?
What are you
what
giving
do I
me?
do here?
I guess,
Oh,
I guess I'll throw it on your lower back.
Yeah. What's crazy, if you look at, like, say, people in China,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm talking like real old school, poor areas of China,
Yeah.
where they're pretty much farming and eating their own food.
Yeah.
They lived like 120.
Yeah.
They live real old because they don't get their hands on the preservatives and crap.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
True. There really is a merit to working with your body, utilizing it, moving around, and eating quality food.
Right.
I always say a carb isn't a carb, a protein's not a protein. It's not all equal because you got to look at everything else that goes into it.
Mm-hmm. Very true. Very true.
I knew my love for Godiva would bite me in the ass one day. It's bullshit.
Oh god.
But yeah, tell me. I want you to get
Yeah,
back
yeah.
on the topic.
So so I was I felt like that if I came into the classic Olympia looking like the classic bodybuilder version that I aspire to look like, because when I train and everything, I'm looking at guys like Flex Wheeler and like Sean Ray, like those are the physiques that I admired and I really wanted to try to become almost. So I felt like, well, I mean, look, if I could attain a look like this, then I should be good. But it just come to realization that, I mean, no, they wanted a different look, I mean, and like I said, that's fine. If you want a different look, that's fine.
Yeah, and then you just bring your best look and bring it into the right division.
And
That's all it is.
That's true. It's true.
And now here we are. I can't wait to see it, man. Next year, it's gonna be interesting.
Yeah.
You know what I'm curious about? As soon as we started the live on here for your Instagram, it blew up in a heartbeot.
Oh, really?
I saw a lot of people on there.
Oh, okay.
Let's
I didn't see.
I was peeking over at it, and I saw a couple people asking us questions.
Okay.
Do you want to open that back up and see if we can get some live questions on here?
I just locked it. So, yeah, I just locked your phone, so it should be.
Oh,
Oh yeah.
I'm just gonna check the camera because.
are you able to go? Are you able to?
Delete video, unless you want to save it to your page.
Nah, I could delete the video, but
Yeah.
I could see the questions though if I wanted to.
I'm not sure, but I'm saying we'll start another one and see who.
Oh, start a new
Yeah,
one?
ask some questions.
Okay, so I'm gonna delete the video.
Working the camera, working everything.
It's all good.
We out here, and then we got a couple. I know I got a couple questions on my page.
Yeah, I got a few.
For,
And I did, and I have some questions too. Like I did
Sure,
a story
yeah,
too.
There you go.
Just buzz through them. It helps.
Yeah, a lot of mine already answered. But while you're going through that, one question I got.
All right, so you just want to start a new live? You said, right?
Yeah, starting to live, and then let's get some questions on there.
Okay.
Bada bing, bada boom.
Bada bing, bada booyah.
You like my little Goku though? My ultra instinct Goku.
There you go.
And I got my blue on the
I
other
see
side.
that Ultra Instinct. It looks hot.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
The Roshi on the side.
That Venom is badass.
Right.
Right.
The Venom Thanos.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
All right.
my shit right there.
We got some live people coming in.
All right. So right now we're taking in some questions. So if any of you guys on live have any questions, feel free to answer.
Shoot them on over. We'll try to glance over and touch upon them while we sit here and we quiz the man himself, the bull.
That's right. That's right.
That was actually I know you said you had a question for him, but I want to ask real quick. I had people ask me where did the bull come from?
That came from when I used to play basketball. Because when I used
really?
to,
I thought it was
Wasn't expecting a bull for that one.
I thought it was gonna be something in his back.
No, because when I used to play basketball, I was like a real aggressive type of player, almost like a Dennis Rodman type of, because I was about the rebounds. Like I couldn't really like dribble like that. I couldn't really shoot. I could score sometimes, but my forte was rebounding. So so the way I would kind of like bully my way to to the board. People like somebody one day said, "Yo, you're like a bull, man," and then that name kind of just stuck with me. Yeah, exactly. So it's
there
like
you go.
The bull, and then and this was like, and the reason why it's like because this was also like around the time when I think that show Making the Band was coming out out with Puff Daddy, and it was the Band DA. So like people was always saying the bull.
Yeah, that's cool, man.
Yeah,
and then it sticks.
I love it. I love hearing where nicknames come from.
Yeah,
it's always interesting.
Yeah, so hell yeah.
That's right. I thought it was gonna be like because you look like the Belgian Blue Bull from that documentary, Faster, Stronger. What was that documentary? They showed
bigger, stronger,
faster. You ever see the Belgian Blue Bulls?
No.
Oh my God, you gotta see these things.
But I did see that documentary. I don't remember seeing
the genetically modified Belgian Blue Bull.
If you guys have any questions on live, you type them in there,
bro. Those are the genetically modified
you know what?
cows.
Yes, I do.
With all the muscle mass.
my
That's
God.
where I thought it was from.
Yeah.
Yo, George, what are you doing to the field, bro?
Well, that's what it turned into.
Oh my God, you can imagine.
Let me pull these up real quick.
Yeah. So I had a question. It was somebody wants to know how you kept your waist smaller as you kept to grow and grow and grow.
I see. That's an interesting question. See, the way I kept my waist smaller is it basically was in the diet really. The way I diet, I diet very strict. So in dieting that strict, help keep the waist tight, but also just growing the muscles around it. Also gives you that tapers it in exactly,
and not giving it a reason to grow.
Exactly. So when the legs are growing, getting bigger because I plan my cheat meals around leg day, so all that food goes to the legs. It's not gonna just go. It's not gonna go to the waist.
Burns it.
Exactly. So that also helps show like on the give you that illusion like as if the waist is shrinking, but it's technically really not. I mean because realistically. Can someone really get their waist? Your waist can grow,
Can you train it to be smaller?
Yeah, I say it's kind of like however your bones are structured. It is what it is. But what you could do is just you grow the muscles around it to help give you that, like you said, that tapered look. You know what I mean? So that's really
the only way to really shrink your core is atrophying the muscles.
Exactly.
But if you're running around like an athlete, even somebody at like a third of the caliber any of us work out at, if you're playing basketball every single day or football or whatever, and you want a tinier waist, the physical activity you're doing, your core is not going to allow you to get that thin.
Right.
Unless you're wearing a belt like an oblique stabilizer all day long, 24 hours a day.
Right.
But there's no bone in your core.
Right.
So it's your obliques and your abdominals holding up the rest of your body.
Right, exactly.
So
what those waist trainers are doing to people is just insane. Like down the
terrible.
line, compressing organs and curvatures and spines. It's crazy.
It's terrible
man.
for you.
Yeah.
I know people have told me that they sleep in it. I'm like, dude, are you just like looking to die?
Yeah.
Yeah. But look, but that's how you know nobody's getting their information in the right places. When you're sleeping, laying down, your core's not doing anything.
No, it's not. Exactly.
It's just it do the exact same thing as if you had a corset on or nothing.
Right. And I also don't subscribe to the belief that certain exercises will blow out your waist. Like I don't feel like I don't subscribe that like deadlifting. Deadlifting to a certain point will blow out your waist or squatting to a certain point will blow out your waist because. I mean, I kept doing those same type of movements, and as you said, people saw my waist still looked small.
Yeah.
And I know for a fact, bodybuilders from back in the day would do those movements, and they still maintain the small waist. So it's not that.
I kind of disagree. I believe it's that within reason, because if you have you have enough muscle on you where if you're squatting, because you're not squatting 700 pounds.
Right.
If you're squatting 405 or so, your obliques and your core is perfectly strong to handle that weight.
Right.
It doesn't have a reason to grow from there.
Right.
But if you take the strong men and the power lifters, like I always say, since there's no bone here, those obliques and abdominals have to get thicker and denser to hold that weight. Because if you have 800 pounds in your back, you're snapping in half if your obliques can't handle it.
Well, yeah, that's true. But aren't those? I mean, but how do those strong men and whatnot, how do they eat compared to like a bodybuilder? They eat tons of food.
Insane more. But their core still has to be strong enough to withstand that weight.
Well, that's true. Yeah,
you know what I mean.
True.
But it's adaptive. They don't wake up one morning 3 inches wider.
Right.
It's over a career.
Right.
I don't know how uncomfortable that would be. Just wake up.
Yeah.
We could scroll through live in a sec, but biggest challenge while chasing your IFBB Pro card.
The biggest challenge while chasing my IFBB Pro card, honestly, I would probably say my biggest challenge was maintaining relationships with different people in my life, because when I was chasing that, when you're chasing IFBB Pro card, or going for any show, you want to put yourself in a bubble and put
the
yourself
blinders
in a box.
on.
Yeah, exactly.
Put the blinders on and just go.
Exactly. And then and people people who you've had relationships with before that, they start to kind of feel slighted a little bit because now you have to be in this tunnel, and
sometimes people take it personally, but it's
yeah,
not.
exactly. It's not. So I would say that was the biggest challenge, kind of like, maintaining certain relationships, at the same time while focusing doing what I have to do, But I mean, and I try to explain, the best I can so people understand, and for the most part, they do somewhat understand, but you could see that they're still bothered by it, but you kind of have to just be like, all right, look, it is what it is. This is what I have to do.
Yeah.
There's nothing else to it. This is what I have to do.
It's your life at the end of the day.
Exactly.
Yeah.
If you could only choose one, sushi or pizza, for every meal for the rest of your life, which and why?
All right, well, that's pretty easy for me. I'm picking sushi.
Oh, thank you. Give me some. Give me some. That's the way you got to do it, man.
Oh, yeah.
Look, pizza is very good.
And I'm Italian, man.
Yeah,
I'm going against my people right now.
Yeah, I see that. Oh man, you're gonna have a lot to answer for.
Oh,
when you
I'm
go
gonna
back.
step out this.
Yes.
I'm gonna step out this. There's gonna be a car waiting for me outside.
Yeah.
Get in. We heard it already. What? Type it up.
Look, as good as pizza is, pizza's very good. But after about 3 or 4 slices, I'm like, all right, I had enough. I'm good. But sushi is like, I don't know, like I kind of just keep going with it, and it's so good.
Pound it away.
Yeah, exactly.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And then something. A lot of the other ones were touched upon throughout the
Same with me.
entire conversation. But one of the ones that I thought was super interesting was how to balance real work and being a pro bodybuilder.
Well, that's a very interesting question.
Because you do have a main job.
I do, absolutely. Now, the way that you would balance work and being an IFBB pro, I would say you pretty much just have to make your work schedule work for you. I mean, everybody has different jobs, that's different schedules and different tasks. So I can only speak from my experience. Like the way I make my schedule work for me, like right now, I work from 5:30 p.m. to 2 a.m. in the morning.
Wow.
I get my training done right before work. So I usually train between 2 p.m. to about 5 o'clock, and then I head straight to work after that. When I'm at work, I sit behind a desk, so I'm really just resting for the rest of the night. Really, I'm just sitting, and I get 3 breaks. I get 2 breaks and a lunch break. Each break I'm eating a meal. So that's 3 meals while I'm at work. So I have 3 meals before work and 3 meals while I'm at work. That's my 6 meals a day. And when I'm at work, it's almost like a shield from the world. Like nobody can bother me really. Like there's nothing that could come about that can make me miss a meal. You know what I mean? So I actually use work as almost like kind of an advantage, almost like where, like, let's say if I was just at home all day, somebody would end up calling me and need me to do something, and then I gotta
throws you off the schedule.
Throws me off, yeah, you know what I'm saying? So,
and you got to be a creature of habit when you're doing bodybuilding, especially at the pro level.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
Exactly. So it's very. But look, if you're a person who works from 9 to 5, okay, you work. You get up as soon as you wake up early enough where you can get a meal in before you go to work. depending on what you do, if you can, get
I used
another.
to train. I used to when I worked 9 to 5. I used to train at night.
Yeah,
I used to go like 6 o'clock at night.
What you got to do?
Yeah,
7, 8, get out, eat a meal. Then I have another one before I go to bed, and then I'm done, and I got to get up the next day.
Exactly. That's it. So I would, that's it. I would say if you if you work a regular 8-hour job and you work during the day, like try to get like 3 meals in during that 8 during that schedule, or between for 8 hours. I mean, you can at least get 2 meals in there.
That's all you need. If you eat right before and right afterwards,
exactly.
Yeah.
And then the rest will be when you're out of work. So there's always a way. Look, if Ronnie Coleman could be Mr. Olympia and still work for the police department, then
I always said, man, could you imagine his ass pulling you over? Just your face
Jesus.
when he walks into the window. Oh,
but you know something?
God.
If I was like, if he was ever trying to arrest me for something, I would just run. There's no way he's gonna catch me at 300 something pounds with that much muscle.
Can you imagine him running full speed? Yeah. But if he gets
fast,
you,
then that's scary.
If he gets you, then you fucked. That's it. Now I know you're one of your boys from work, but it was like a little bit famous for a little while, right? With his food.
Oh yeah. Nick Mozzarella. That's your name. Yeah,
you just cracked me up.
I've been putting him back on my stories lately too. But yeah, he because before he used to buy these bags and bags of Whole Foods, different things from Whole Foods and just random stuff that wouldn't even go together. He'll just be like pizza and sushi and candy.
He's my kind of guy.
Yeah,
Sounds kind of nice.
All this different stuff.
He's stealing my idea, rolling up pancakes and everything.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Yeah, but I would always mess with him like that, just, even off camera. But just one day I just was playing around and I said I'm gonna put him on my
Put
story.
on blast.
Yeah. And then when I did that, people just started freaking loving those things. I'm like,
different
wow,
and
people,
fun.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I was like, all right, well, it's cool. We'll just keep doing this because people actually find it funny. So yeah, I've been doing that for a little while, and I've been putting them back up there. It was a point where I stopped doing it because when I'm in prep and I'm low on energy, I don't have the energy to be that personality. Yeah, but now I got my energy back, so I start putting them back on my story. It's funny stuff. People said they like die laughing at it. So
it's
they're
great.
good. They're
like
good.
I said, it's nice to have something different. It's not the same bullshit over and over again.
I want to see if I can get a hold of him outside of work and maybe do like a YouTube video.
Oh, you have
something.
to.
Yeah,
you have to. just eating championship between you two.
Yeah.
I bumped up to 212, so now I'm in his division.
Exactly.
That's it.
Exactly.
So now going into next year, this could sound stupid. I want to make sure I'm correct because you're qualified for the Olympia.
Right.
Are you qualified for a different division?
Well, actually, even if I was staying in Classic, I would have to requalify because they changed rules now.
Really?
Yeah. So now only the first place winner of the Olympia is the person who requalifies automatically.
Wow, that's huge.
Yeah, exactly.
Holy shit.
Sucks.
So we'll
see.
Which
kind of like I mean, when I'm thinking about it now, it's like, isn't it true that when you win the Olympia, like
you're
qualified for life?
Yes.
So then it kind of doesn't that kind of like
maybe they should do top. They should do.
They
top
should do
three
top
then.
3 at least.
Yeah.
It should be top 3 at least.
Well, if you have somebody gunning for first place, and there's always going to be somebody trying to requalify it. You know what I mean? I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm I totally fucked that up.
Huh.
The guy who wins is always going to try to hold their place.
Well, yeah.
But for somebody to overtake that throne, they need a proper offseason. 2 shows isn't going to give them the peak physique that one show is going to do for them.
I mean, depending on the person, yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
That's true. But I would also think it should be like a perk. If you were good enough to be top 3 in the world, like that should be one of the perks of achieving that. Like, okay, you get to just requalify, automatically requalify for the show and do it again. But I mean, I don't know. I don't know if it's because they want to see more guys in these shows.
Yeah, that's probably why they probably got tired of all the top talent waiting out for that one show a year, which. To a degree, as a business standpoint, I understand what they're doing, but at the same time, it's like, well, you're asking these guys to do 150%, go all out for this, and now they have to break it down in 2 shows if they didn't get first.
Right.
So I understand both sides of the spectrum.
Right.
But
since I'm switching now from Classic, I would have to requalify for the Olympia in 212.
Okay.
Yeah.
So.
Are you guys keeping the show under wraps?
Kind of.
That's cool. Keep it under wraps. Yeah, don't say anything.
Yeah,
I like that. I like that better. Well, you fly in like a stealth bomber, and all of a sudden, you're gonna nudge me at bed. You're like, I'm a week out. What? I thought you always stayed ready, but now it's real.
Exactly.
So that's it, man. So I want you to give yourself a plug. Tell people where they can follow the journey.
Sure, absolutely. All right, so you can also, everybody can always follow me at my Instagram, which is at George P_the_bull. That's DABULL. Facebook, I'm IFBB Pro George Peterson. Also, I want to let everybody know that because a lot of people have been asking me to do this, and I haven't, because I wanted to make sure I had enough time to do it, and now I have more time to actually do so. So I've started online coaching.
Oh, nice.
Yep. And so and people can reach out to me for online coaching at my website that's now up. It's thebullcoaching.com.
Hey,
there you go.
Yep. Or you could shoot me an email at thebullllc@gmail.com.
there you go,
There you
man.
go.
Good
Yeah,
for
good
you,
shit.
bro.
Yeah, yep. And I also I have my YouTube channel that I'm working on now is just my name, George Peterson. I'm gonna be getting more content on there as time goes on. But I have a few good
the
episodes that I worked with video guy. His name is
Ricky
Ricky
the
Lass.
homie.
Yeah, Ricky Lass.
New England Media Muscle. I love Ricky.
That's right.
Ricky's
That's
the
right.
homie.
That's right. So hell yeah, man. So so that's where all my platforms that you can find me.
Cool. And now we have a giveaway for you guys.
Oh yeah. We're doing a giveaway for the people listening.
Yeah. Oh yeah, not Redcon.
That's
It's not
exciting.
Redcon. I wish it was
Redcon.
Redcon. I wish it was Redcon. We're gonna do one of the Tame the Beast products. We're gonna decide which one. But Tame the Beast was nice enough to give us a stack of products, and we haven't had really a full episode. We did just John and I a couple weeks ago, and then I was sick last week, so we had to take a week off. But we were kind of deciding the best way to do the actual giveaway and how we wanted to do it. So we're probably going to do we'll make a separate post and share it. We're probably going to do you follow them, follow the account, and tag 2 or 3 friends in the comments, and we'll randomly select you and a friend to win one of their products. So they gave us about 8 products, 7 products.
I'll send you a picture of what we got, and then you pick.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You
that
pick.
works.
But,
Awesome.
But I don't know if you know what Tame the Beast is. Tame the Beast is they make nut butter, not peanut butter.
Really?
different
Nut
kind of
butter.
nuts. Exactly what you think. Grab it.
I gotta see this.
Grab it. Yeah.
Oh, not.
Like you didn't know.
Wait, does this go where I think it goes?
Right into jam, son.
Are you serious?
Silky
okay.
smooth. We put everybody onto that shit.
Yeah.
And everybody that uses it, man, loves it. Actually, you know what? Take that.
It has organic.
Take that. Do you want that one? Take it.
I'll take
Take
it.
that one.
Yeah, take it.
Nice.
Silky smooth down low, son.
Now I'm gonna have vitamin E where the sun don't shine.
Exactly.
No.
Exactly. I really wanted to have girls put their boys on blast. Like, if your man's got crusty ass nuts and you're tired of them, tag him below.
Ladies.
We'll send him some Tame the Beast.
This is hilarious.
Ladies who tag their men get 2 entries.
The directions.
The directions.
Says,
I know, I read the directions.
Apply to BCCs, balls, back, and chest. Reward yourself for being an adult. This is awesome.
I'm not joking, man. It started out as a joke. It started out with me just fucking around. And I said it on air, and I was dead ass serious. I said, I got this ball deodorant or this lotion called Tame the Beast, and my boys just feel great all the time now. And we were laughing, whatever.
Yeah.
And then one thing led to another. They followed us, and then I followed them back. We started talking, and they sent us this to start doing giveaways and shit. So
Here we are.
let them know, man.
This is nut butter, all right?
We ain't talking nuts and more.
Exactly.
So you enjoy that, and
Yeah.
you let me know how the boys are doing later on.
Thank you. I plan on becoming a beast later tonight.
There you go. And on that note,
Hey, I'm gonna have John kick this outro for us.
so thank you everybody for tuning into this week's episode of The Voice.
And Rizzles, joined by none other than
George the Bull Peterson.
Boom, baby. Let's go.